Good morning, TikTok. Happy Thursday to you. Ed over here at FICMRepair. This question comes in and says, hey, do I have anything to worry about with the EcoTune? Does the next buyer have anything to worry about the EcoTune? Anything to know about? The answer is no. What you have to know about is, hey, this is snappier than I'm used to my other 6.0s being. I kind of like it. Huh. That's about it. There's really no drawback to running an EcoTune at all, other than why did you choose an EcoTune? You probably should have chosen the 40. Very, very, very few people have to choose the EcoTune. You only have to choose the EcoTune if with the 40, with the weights that you're towing, if you're towing, max weight in the mountains, then I would say, yeah, probably you're going to have an exhaust gas temperature problem that's really insurmountable, and it probably makes sense to go ahead and score a tune that is beefier and brighter and quote unquote awesomer, right? But just better throttle response, better yeehaw, all that kind of stuff. But the EcoTune, it's just a drivability thing. It's a nice little boost on the bottom end, but without doing anything crazy, and it does not in any way, shape, or form impinge max towing weight. Now, the Atlas 40 technically does impinge max towing weight, but only if you don't have an EGT sensor. So if you're towing sub 8,000 pounds and you don't have an EGT sensor, you're probably still fine. I mean, would you be better off with an EGT probe? You totally would be. But, if this is just a daily driver and never used for towing, I'm so not worried about you. But I suppose there's a possibility. I was towing a 12,000 pound camper on 35s, on 373s in my excursion in the mountains of Colorado and couldn't peg EGTs, and I tried. But, every truck is different. Your mileage may vary. Standard disclaimers apply. So just try it, right? Rent the FICM tuner from us. It's available on FICMRepair.com. There's a link right on the homepage saying, hey, can't afford to be down and want a tune, click here. And go ahead and order up the tuner and try out all the tunes. That's like the benefit, right? Yes, it costs you $50 more net, $200 instead of $150 to ship the thing in. But you avoid the downtime, yay, big win. And also, and more importantly, probably, you can try out all the tunes. You don't have to listen to some guy over the interwebs, that Ed guy at FICMRepair. There's things wrong with that boy. But you don't have to listen to some guy over the interwebs with their opinions about what works for you. So it is true that like 97, 98% of our customer base ends up with the Atlas 40. That's 100% the case. But the fact is that there is still some logic in trying it out. Now the Atlas 80, that tune is definitely a little more something. Definitely you can get yourself into trouble from an exhaust gas temperature perspective, and definitely you will see more black stuff coming out of the tailpipe, but on the bottom end there's no question. And even a little bit of coal rolling on the freeway, even though the turbo spun up on an otherwise stock truck. It's just more fuel, right? And so keep that in mind. But the yeehaw factor is alive and well. The 100 horsepower Hercules tune is awesome. The difference between the 80 and the 100 is thank you, Jesus, you do love me. And by the way, Jesus does love you. But the fact of the matter is that it's like, okay, but we have to be careful in this world. Oh, so many parallels. But if you have a ZF6, I don't care. But if you have an automatic, please do not run the Hercules tune without having looked at our transmission video, how to extend the life of your automatic trans, on the homepage of FICMRepair, all the way at the bottom. If you haven't if you haven't updated your solenoids, the electronic pressure control and the direct solenoid to double the line pressure, quadruple your flow, give you about 50 extra horses or so of holding power, I promise you, if you run the 100 horsepower Hercules tune, you're going to call me up asking about the transmissions that I also sell. So I don't want that for you, right? And so what I would tell you is that there is tremendous logic in going ahead and staying away from the Hercules tune unless you have a modified truck. And by the way, unless you have a way to monitor EGTs. On an otherwise stock truck, stock injector, stock turbo, yes, with a mild, actually, no, not even with a mild ECM tune. There's no tune on it at the time, but with an S&B cold air intake, so basically a stock truck, right? With a 4-inch exhaust, though, even, which lowers exhaust gas temperatures, of course, the old, pi r squared kind of conversation. So 4-inch exhaust flows 25% more than 3.5-inch exhaust, so why aren't you buying exhaust from me if you're still running stock? Oh, my goodness. Diesels like to breathe. But at any rate, the Hercules tune will develop. I can hit 1500 degree exhaust gas temperatures as measured in the exhaust manifold within 6 seconds from a stop with the Hercules tune. Sucker's hot. I do not want you melting pistons. I sell engines. Please do not do that to me. I don't want to do that to you. But the other consideration when choosing tunes, so we're going to label this, which tune is for me, which FICM tune is for me. The other consideration is, are you running or do you plan to run ECM-based tuning? If you're going to run an ECM-based tune, so you've got your SCT device, say, or something like that, and you want to run canned tunes or custom tunes, as the case may be, do you want a FICM tune? The answer is yes, FICM tune stack. We'll have a whole video on that. But if you're going to stack your tunes, then go ahead and probably limit yourself to the 40. You're just not going to be happy with the 80 if you're like most folks. Put your comments in there on this video and let other folks know what your experiences were. But the 80 with an ECM tune is an awful dang lot. And so what ends up happening with the 80 with the ECM tune is it just smokes too much, and it just limits you. What I would want to do is I would want to get the most bang for the buck out of the FICM tune as I possibly could by putting the Atlas 40 in there. Low end throttle response is going to be incredible, and your top end a little something too. And then when you want more power than that, because who doesn't want more power? We are guys, at least 99.9% of us watching are. Then if you want more power, you get that through your ECM tune. We can hook you up with custom tunes that way as well, because we're kind of a full service shop. So excellent question. I so appreciate you. And by the way, if you could go ahead and let the new buyer know, hey, there's this crazy guy FICM Repair. He's kind of a one-stop shop. He rips through everybody, and he'll try to talk you out of stuff even before he tries to talk you into stuff. It's not about that. It's just about telling you stuff, not selling you stuff. So, and just from a selfless perspective, just pay it forward, guys. It's not that hard. Be a good human. All right. So you got this. I appreciate you all. FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together, and happy Thursday to you.